Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of The Snake Pit. I'm your host, Son of Bat, and tonight I'll be talking about LA Maniac, also known as the Los Angeles Ripper. This is a 2011 slasher film directed by Craig McIntyre, released by the lovely people at Troma Entertainment. How I came across this movie is actually kind of funny. One year I was at Fan Expo. I went right to the Troma booth, and I'm like looking through all the DVDs, looking for shit that I don't already have, and I see this bright neon pink case with a very familiar font on it. And the picture for the DVD case is actually in the thumbnail, and you slasher fans out there are going to recognize it instantly. It looks like Maniac from 1980 by William Lustig. And immediately I thought, oh shit, Troma did their own version of Maniac. This is either going to be really good or it's going to be really shitty. Either way, I got to fucking get this movie. Now, for those of you who don't know, Troma has a reputation for making what a lot of people refer to as Z-grade movies, like very low budget, not very good movies. However, I don't think they're not good. I think a lot of them are fucking amazing, and a lot of people would agree. You got your Toxic Avengers, Class of Nukem High, Mother's Day, Terra Firma, Combat Shock, Sergeant Kabuki Man. You got all these great movies that are made on minuscule budgets. A lot of like big names get their starts with this company. But because they direct and produce and release so many films, there's bound to be a bunch of shit in there too. This is one of those films. This was not like Maniac, although I felt at times it tried to be Maniac. It just felt like another generic Z-grade slasher film. And again, that's no disrespect on Troma. That's no disrespect on Craig McIntyre. It's just, if you've seen a slasher movie, this is like pretty much what it is. Like, this is just like every other slasher movie. However, it had some entertaining qualities to it. Right quick, I guess I'll just dive into the plot. There's this girl named Christy who's moving from Ohio to Los Angeles. She starts living with her cousin and her aunt. The whole reason why she moves is she wants to start singing or get a career in singing or some shit. So, she's there and she's just going to parties with her cousin and shit. And at one of these parties, she meets her cousin's coke dealer, this guy named Graham, who happens to be the serial killer. Now, it's weird because most slasher films kind of follow the innocent people, and then the slasher kind of shows up here and there. But if it's a movie like Maniac, it will follow the serial killer, right? Now, the movie starts with camera shots following Graham around. So I thought it was going to be mostly about him, but then it goes to her plot. So it's kind of that's why I say it's kind of like two movies. Now, the funniest thing, to put it into perspective of what you people are going to be getting when you watch this movie, if you even watch it, is the first line of dialogue said in the whole fucking movie is Graham picks up a prostitute and he brings her back to a hotel, and he just looks at her dead in the face and he's like, "So you said it was $50 for anal, right?" And I don't know if it's because I smoked two doobs before I watched it. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Everything this guy said was fucking hilarious. Again, not a great actor. No one in this movie was a great actor, but for some reason, this guy had me fucking dying. Everything he said was just so fucking unhinged and just weird, and it's just goofy. I don't know, man. The guy was fucking funny. It was just too funny. I don't know if maybe if they were trying to go for a funny thing, I could see this being a pretty funny slasher movie, but I don't know. I can't tell if they were trying to be serious with it or what, but I was just dying the whole time. I thought it was funny. So anyway, basically, where the two meet is Christy's cousin needs coke, so I guess she gets it from this loser, and I honestly referred to him as the coke cuck, because basically this dude, Graham, would fucking he'd pick up and bring to her, and he's supposed to be a dealer, but he's going from one end of LA to the other to give half-filled dime bags to this chick. So I'm thinking he's chipping out of his personal stash to give it to her, thinking she'll fuck him like a fucking simp or something. But I don't know, this guy doesn't strike me as a coke dealer. He just strikes me as a coke user, borderline retarded, and just a psycho. So I don't know. But ever since that one meeting at the club, he becomes obsessed with Christy, and he just starts following her. This results in him showing up at the beach, which has a pretty funny argument where he gets into a conversation with her and he starts debating whether or not dolphins are sexual creatures. Very aggressively, but very funny. Again, another weird fucking thing that happens. And then, he picks up a couple more people here. And in between, him stalking the main chick, Christy, there's a couple kills here and there. He picks up this crack whore, And again, this was probably the best kill in the movie, but it's also the dumbest kill in the movie. So he picks up this crack whore, and after he fucks her, he kills her in the van, takes her out of the van in broad daylight, goes behind a dumpster, scalps her, and then smashes her fucking head in and starts sitting down beside her and eating the brains. So dumb, but so funny, and the gore wasn't bad. The only problem was there was this really, really hideous high contrast, and this kind of happens throughout most of the movie. Like, I couldn't even tell it. Sometimes it felt like a home movie, like, you know, like those shot on video movies, or it felt like something that would have been uploaded to YouTube in the early days. It just does not feel like a film at times, especially the acting really doesn't help it. It doesn't feel like anyone in this movie was an actual actor. They kind of just ad-libbed their way through it. It just felt really unnatural and really weird. The other thing was this Christy chick, she's trying to be a singer, so she starts going to all these singing classes. Like, there's I think 2 or 3 of them in the movie. And my God, these scenes are so long. I just wanted them to end. They were horrible. Like, nobody was like even remotely good. Like, it was just so hard to sit through. But like, you know, I do it for you guys to do these reviews, so I sat through it, but it was fucking painful. And pretty much this all culminates with eventually him kidnapping Christy, bringing her out to the desert, where him and now BC have both started this, like, they're killing together. And I'm a little faded right now, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember. So BC is this guy who's, like, I guess Graham's friend, and he looks like a fucking, like, if an ape and a Bee Gees member crossed. Like, it's really weird. He started, like, so basically him and Graham start killing, and then the chick Christy basically escapes somehow. She kills fucking BC by throwing acid in his face, and then she gets out. But the weird thing is the movie just ends. Like, it straight up just ends. There's no definitive ending to it. Like, I don't know if they thought that there was going to be a sequel to it or whatever, but there was no conclusion. You don't even really find out what happens to her cousin or the aunt. They kind of just disappear from the movie. Like, it's just really weird. Not a lot of great kills. The gore wasn't very good. This movie isn't like Maniac at all. I mean, it did try, though. You could tell, like, its heart was in the right place. It had some of the elements of a slasher film. It had, you know, the weird experimental synth soundtrack. It had, you know, the classic, like, legs and ass shots anytime a girl came up on screen. You know, like it tried, but like it ultimately failed. This was not an enjoyable movie by most standards. It was entertaining, but mildly entertaining because I was pretty baked when I watched it. But this was not a good movie. This was not a good slasher movie, and this was not a good Troma movie, in my opinion. Although I will give them this: the original poster with the original title, "The Los Angeles Ripper," is very cool. You can actually catch it on IMDb. It looks like something out of the 70s or 80s. I just really like the poster for that. It's a lot better than the actual movie, to be honest. Speaking of IMDb, I'm looking at it right now. There's actually only one review on here, and it's 1 star out of 10, which is pretty fucking brutal. And it more or less covers pretty much what I just did here. There's not a lot to it, just a basic slasher film here, there, some stupid dialogue, some like really poor camera work, poor edit transitions, mid-tier gore. What can you say, you know? I wish there was more, like, background information on this movie because, again, there's only one review here. There's not much people talking about it. I mean, on the cover of the DVD, it says a prime example of what a person who is completely insane would look and act like. And, I mean, to be fair, yeah, for sure. That guy, Graham, I could believe the guy was mentally not fucking there. He just seemed like a lunatic. Like, either he was always high on coke or he was, like, retarded, or it's both, because the guy was definitely not in his right mind. No disrespect to the actor. If that's what they were directing him to go for, he hit it out of the fucking park. He played an unhinged person really well. But everyone else in this movie, not a big fan of. The acting was piss poor. Production quality, again, piss poor. It's to be expected, again, with some of these Troma movies. Not a dunk on them. It's just they take about everything that, like, you know, comes. Hopefully on the next one that I review, I'll pick either a Troma movie that a lot of people know or one that is a lot better, basically. I mainly did this because it was a short movie to get through. It's about 3 a.m. right now. And yeah, I wanted something quick to watch. This was about an hour and 18 minutes. I said, fuck it, I threw it in because I'm always down for a Troma movie. And I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but having said that, I don't think I'm going to be watching it anytime soon. If I were to rate this on a scale, I'm going to be a little bit nicer than the guy who reviewed this on IMDb. I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 mainly for the fact that I didn't skip through any of it. I watched the whole thing. I didn't look at my phone. And if it wasn't for that guy, Graham, I would have given it a 1 because he made the movie really fucking entertaining. Like, I don't know, man. And again, that doesn't save it at all. It's not a good movie, but he was definitely funny as shit. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like, comment, whatever, do what you got to do. And hopefully the next Troma movie I pick is a better one because I really, really want to dig into more of their stuff. And I hope you guys too. So have a good night. Bye.